Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where you receive real and authentic updates about the Iraqi dinar. If you want to stay informed with moment-by-moment developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. As Iraq moves through another important stage of its economic reform agenda, investors, economists, and followers of the Iraqi dinar are paying close attention to two major developments that are expected to unfold over the coming days. The first is the nationwide implementation of the Aswikua Customs Management System at every official border crossing, beginning on July 10, a move that represents one of the country's most significant administrative modernization efforts in recent years. Once fully implemented, the paper-based customs process will largely be replaced by a fully digital system designed to improve transparency, accelerate customs clearance, reduce administrative delays, and strengthen oversight of imports and exports. Although this development may not immediately appear to influence the value of the Iraqi dinar, experienced financial analysts understand that efficient customs administration plays an important role in strengthening a nation's overall economic foundation. Modern customs systems help governments collect revenue more accurately, reduce opportunities for corruption, improve compliance with international trade standards, and create a more predictable environment for businesses involved in cross-border commerce. For Iraq, where increasing non-oil revenues has become a major national objective, the successful implementation of Aswika could represent another meaningful step toward building a more diversified and sustainable economy. Stronger customs collection supports government finances, provides additional resources for infrastructure and public services, and reduces dependence on oil revenues, making the economy more resilient to fluctuations in global energy prices. Improved border management also strengthens confidence among international investors, who generally favor countries with transparent regulatory systems and efficient trade procedures. While these reforms require time before their full economic benefits become visible, they demonstrate Iraq's ongoing commitment to institutional modernization and economic governance. Many observers have compared Iraq's customs modernization with reforms introduced by Egypt several years ago, where digital customs systems became part of a wider package of fiscal and structural reforms. Egypt's experience showed that modern customs administration can improve tax collection, increase trade efficiency, reduce smuggling, and strengthen confidence in public institutions. However, it is equally important to emphasize that Iraq's economic circumstances differ considerably from those of Egypt. Every country's monetary policy, fiscal position, political environment, and development strategy are unique. Therefore, comparisons should be viewed as examples of successful administrative modernization rather than predictions that Iraq will experience identical currency outcomes. The implementation of Aswika should instead be understood as another building block in Iraq's long-term reform strategy. Currency stability is influenced by numerous factors, including inflation, foreign exchange reserves, fiscal discipline, banking sector strength, political stability, productivity, and investor confidence. Digital customs systems contribute to these broader objectives by making government revenue collection more reliable and transparent, but they are only one component within a much larger economic framework. For Iraqi dinar followers, this distinction is extremely important because structural reforms often produce gradual economic improvements rather than immediate exchange rate changes. Adding to the importance of this period is the expected visit of Prime Minister Al-Zaidi to Washington, accompanied by a delegation of Iraqi business leaders and economic representatives. High-level diplomatic and commercial visits of this nature often focus on strengthening bilateral economic cooperation, encouraging foreign direct investment, expanding trade partnerships, discussing energy development projects, and exploring opportunities for private sector collaboration. Reports suggest that discussions could also include Iraq's evolving 2027 budget framework, which some analysts believe reflects continued cooperation with internationally recognized financial principles. Although official details remain limited, a budget emphasizing fiscal sustainability, investment, infrastructure, and economic diversification would align with Iraq's broader objective of reducing long-term dependence on oil while supporting sustainable economic growth. If Iraq continues implementing internationally accepted budgeting standards alongside reforms in customs administration, banking, taxation, and digital governance, the country may gradually strengthen its overall economic credibility in the eyes of international financial institutions and global investors. Such credibility often contributes to improved access to foreign investment and financing opportunities, both of which support long-term economic development. Energy cooperation is expected to remain another central topic during the Washington meetings. Iraq continues to prioritize expanding electricity generation, improving energy infrastructure, reducing gas flaring, increasing domestic production, and attracting international investment into its energy sector. Reliable electricity and energy security remain essential foundations for industrial expansion, manufacturing, agriculture, and private sector growth. Greater cooperation with American companies and international partners could accelerate technology transfer, infrastructure investment, and long-term energy development projects that strengthen Iraq's productive capacity. A stronger productive economy generally supports government revenues, employment, and business confidence, creating conditions that contribute to long-term macroeconomic stability. While energy agreements themselves do not directly determine the value of the Iraqi dinar, they strengthen the economic environment within which monetary authorities operate. For followers of the Iraqi dinar, these developments should be viewed through the broader lens of economic reform rather than short-term speculation. Currency values are not determined by a single event or announcement, but instead reflect a combination of monetary policy decisions, fiscal management, trade performance, investment flows, foreign reserves, inflation control, and overall economic confidence. Iraq's continued modernization of customs procedures, efforts to improve governance, expansion of digital government services, development of infrastructure, pursuit of international partnerships, and strengthening of public finances collectively demonstrate a long-term commitment to building a more diversified and resilient economy. These reforms can improve investor confidence over time and enhance Iraq's ability to participate more effectively in global trade and financial markets. Nevertheless, it remains important to distinguish between positive structural reforms and assumptions regarding immediate changes to the Iraqi dinar's official exchange rate. Exchange rate decisions remain the responsibility of Iraq's monetary authorities and are based on comprehensive economic assessments rather than individual reform measures or diplomatic visits. In the short term, successful implementation of ASUCA may reduce customs processing times, improve revenue collection, strengthen border administration, and enhance transparency across Iraq's trade network. Businesses could benefit from more efficient import and export procedures, while government institutions may gain better oversight of commercial activity and customs compliance. Over the medium and long term, continued progress in customs modernization, banking reform, infrastructure investment, fiscal responsibility, private sector development, and international cooperation may strengthen Iraq's economic fundamentals and create a more attractive environment for domestic and foreign investment. As these reforms accumulate over time, they contribute to greater institutional credibility and support sustainable economic growth. For Iraqi dinar followers, the most responsible approach remains monitoring verified announcements from the Central Bank of Iraq and other official government institutions, while viewing each reform as part of Iraq's broader economic transformation rather than as confirmation of any immediate currency adjustment. Responsible analysis requires patience, attention to official information, and an understanding that meaningful economic progress is typically achieved through a series of coordinated reforms rather than a single event. As always, this discussion is intended solely for informational and educational purposes and should not be considered financial, investment, or trading advice.